Write your own path with opportunities.
Okay. Hi, everybody. We are here. You're getting the after show. We have already had our own show all by ourselves. But I'm with Sarah Walker from Weird Fiction Quarterly, and she's going to tell us all her secrets. But first, I'm going to let Sarah introduce herself, and then she's going to tell us the one thing she really wished writers knew when they were submitting to Weird Fiction Quarterly.
Hello, I'm Sarah Walker, and by day I'm an anthropologist, and by night I do this kind of thing. I draw and write, and I really like weird fiction, obviously. The weirder the better, magic realism, anything like that. So the one thing that I wish writers knew, you said?
The one thing.
So I wish that they would know that we really do mean exactly 500 words when we ask for submission call with this specific thing, with Weird Fiction Quarterly, because that's kind of like the thing that was the template it was started under. And that's kind of like, it's like a game. Like, can you write a story in 500 words?
So it doesn't mean up to 500 words. It means 500 words,
exactly.
Not 501, and then hope you guys won't notice it because you can use, the count the words feature on your computers.
Yeah, word count. It's good. Try it.
Just take one of those A's out, guys. Not one of those those.
Yeah, exactly. It's super easy. Well, sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's hard. And what you'll find is that it teaches you a couple of things. It teaches you that editing isn't as awful as you think. And then sometimes editing can actually be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it can actually
I love it.
teach you that there's a lot of words that we use that are really extraneous and unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and really making those verbs count. Every word having maximum power. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to follow up with a quick question of why did you guys decide to do 500 words?
Okay, well, so the magazine was actually started by Russell Smeaton, and he's in England. And he originally, when he started it after he entered a contest with the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival, and they had like a 500 word, it had to be exactly 500 flash fiction contest. And he did really well in that, and suddenly realized like nobody was doing that. Like nobody has like a flash fiction, like weird fiction thing. And so he started it, but he kind of wanted to keep it small because it was only one person.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was all by invite. And then he had some work come up, and, the world's insane right now.
Life.
Yeah, exactly. And so he asked me and Chris Karr to help him and asked us basically, can you take this over? And we said, okay. And so
that's awesome.
Now we're here, and we brought on Scott and Shayne, and they're excellent editors, and we are just playing it as we go. Can you hear my clock?
No, I actually couldn't. I was going to say, that's like, welcome to publishing. Play it as you go.
Right? Like you think to yourself, it's going to be easier next time. And like every time there's always like these hurdles, and there's always these problems, and, you just have to keep jumping them and try again.
I'm really glad I'm not the only person that figures it out every issue. And then everything changed, and then I had to refigure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like every time. And so you just get used to it. And if you worry about it, like if you sit there and stress about it, it does you no good.
Yeah, I agree.
You just have to do it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So, well, how about your history? Besides coming into that, where did you come from as a writer? What prompted you to like the weird fiction, then connect up with Weird Fiction Quarterly?
Well, I've always been a weirdo, I was like listening to like Bauhaus at 12 and trying to dye my hair. I mean, it was always.
Are we like related or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah, I'm getting related vibes here.
And so how it was back then. Like if you did that back then, it was like a major deal. Like people yelled at you in the street.
You got beat up.
Run you over.
I had a beer bottle thrown at me.
Yeah, see?
On the side of the road.
And people, I don't think people now, kids these days, they don't know because it's gotten so much mellower, at least in appearance. you know?
Back in my day, we didn't have colored hair dye. You couldn't dye your hair green so easily.
You had to work hard at it. You had to use like Jello and like glue and like all sorts of crap.
Your sister's finger paints.
Yeah, your sister's finger paints. Exactly. It's funny, but so I'd already liked weird music. Or wait, I was gonna say weird music. I do like weird music too, but I've always liked that kind of fiction. Additionally, my dad is an ethnographer, and I grew up hearing a lot of indigenous stories. And indigenous stories, because it comes from a different worldview, are very, very different than Western European stories. And so I think that that's the other reason I like it. And plus, my mom was telling me like all these Viking legends and stuff. And so I just gravitated towards weirdness. It's fun, it's sort of the other stuff,
Yeah, that's awesome. I kind of wish like we had, I think that's why there is such a push now for indigenous stories, for other voices stories, because we are all kind of getting tired of the same thing. I think we're all getting a taste for a little, we'll say weirder fiction. Yeah. Which, really is just different, because anything that's different is considered weird.
Right. And that's the other great thing about weird fiction is that it's a really broad field, right? So it gives us a lot of ability to accept stories from people that maybe a normal, like run-of-the-mill publication couldn't or wouldn't want, because it's just too bizarro or it doesn't fit in a.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, I'm glad you guys are doing this.
Yeah, it's really fun. I really enjoy it.
What are some of the best practices for writers submitting to you? Like something that you notice a lot that you really wish you could say, stop doing this or please do this. And it can be just in general too.
Okay, so as far as like conceptually, I would tell writers, try new stuff. And when I say new, I mean new. Like have a romance about maggots. Do something
going on my checklist. That's a good idea, Sarah. I like that.
You know what I mean, though, right? Or like a comedy that happens at a funeral. I mean, I guess they've done that already, but you know what I mean. Like, try something new, because you would be surprised at how many of the same stories we get from like wildly different people. Like people who obviously don't know each other. It's not like they're all coordinating and saying, let's all write stories about bananas. It's like suddenly we get all these banana stories. It's like bizarre. Yeah. Does that happen to you?
Yeah, I've always thought it's because there was a submission that called for something specific, like a submission call for an anthology, like the banana horror anthology.
Oh, so you're getting flooded with the banana stories.
And that's all the stories that didn't make it. Maybe. I mean, that's my theory.
No, that's a good
I've
point.
noticed that too.
No, that might be right, because I remember that pizza story, the pizza one, and everybody had the pizza story back. It was like 5 years ago. There was some sort of pizza Cthulhu thing that was supposed to happen.
Oh yeah, and the Call of Cthulhu. Remember Cthulhu?
No,
Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh went not free domain, but whatever the word is for that. He's public now. Not the Disney version. Don't dare write a Pooh with the red sweater. That sounds like Winnie the Pooh on Disney, but any other Pooh is okay. He's free domain. And then I think like within hours, the Call of Cthulhu went out. And it's I haven't never read it, but I meant to at the time, you know what I mean? But I was like, genius. Yes, let's turn Winnie the Pooh evil.
I love it. I love it. I think that's a great idea. I mean, not necessarily. I like the weirdness of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that Pooh is evil.
Oh, I love Winnie
it just meant that there was Cthulhu themes there somewhere.
Even Winnie the Pooh gets stressed and worries about his existence.
How do you think he got so happy and zen that all he needs is his honeypot, because he has so many other experiences?
Yeah, he's not going to focus on anything else, just the honey.
There's a reason he hides out in those 500-acre woods.
That's actually a cool idea for a story. Now you're making me think.
I know. Well, I'm going to write a story about maggot romance, and then you do the Call of Cthulhu, and we'll trade.
All right. I'm down.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. That's the other thing I think people are forgetting a lot. have some fucking, excuse me, but really have some fucking fun. You guys, life is short. Things can be really ugly, but they can also be really fun and funny, and you can do cool stuff with other people. It doesn't have to all be about, getting a crown or having a star or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to say that none of us were serious people at one time because we chose to be writers. I mean, good grief. Like, what were we thinking?
It's not like becoming a financial person or an investor or something.
I know. We were obviously the silly nerd kids we were growing up because the rest of us were all in, I don't know, finance or something.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I am horrible at finance. It's I hate it. I hate money.
Yeah. That's what I use AI for, is to say, okay, how many weeks are between this date and this date? And if I charge $55 an hour for this and I met this many times, how much would that be?
And you had to ask. Well, no, but that's exactly, me too. And I hate that. Or like trying to quantify. That's really hard to like quantify art.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, oh, well, how much time does this take? Okay, it took me 40 hours, but like anybody's going to pay me $3,000 for a picture. They won't anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how long you take on it.
Technically, I work for like negative 0.002 cents per hour.
You're like paying people to let you work there. I feel like that a lot because I teach. I'm an anthropologist, and so like I teach anthropology, do some research, but it's like that. It's like I'm paying to work, and a lot of the time to really like it.
I think that sums up art a lot of times in general, like all create, music and but I'm going to say keep on doing it because I am, and I don't want to like fool myself and break this reality.
Well, no, and that's the thing is you can't do it for that reason. And I mean, that's a nice thing to have happen. Don't get me wrong. It would be great. I love it when I have friends who like write a book and it goes like, they sell a whole bunch or or it gets made into a movie. Like I jump for joy when that happens to people because that's awesome. But even if it doesn't happen to you, that doesn't mean that's the only reason that art exists. Art is there for other reasons.
Well, and you never know when it's going to happen. You may not still be here. You know what I mean? But somebody, it comes at the right time, the right place, and bam, the right people discovered it. So,
and it can do a lot of good.
Yeah, exactly. And that leads me into my next question is what can authors do to help keep small press going? Because it's not easy to be small press. I know.
And I feel such like a hypocrite saying this, but buy it, read it, take part in it, submit to it, talk about it with your friends. Like, bring light to it. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I like that. Review it, share it, talk about the other authors. Don't be a hit and run, drop your story and go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Participate, goddammit.
You want small press to stay alive and keep publishing, well, then you love them.
Right, exactly. And it's hard work, don't yell at your editor. The other thing is like, if your story doesn't get accepted, you guys, 9 times out of 10, it's not because the story is bad. There are so many stories that I really loved and I couldn't take because they didn't fit or they were not quite right or there are 505 words or,
go back to the beginning of this video and watch.
Yes. Exactly. But well, that's something that I always think too, is it's not the quality of the submission. It's just that there might be 5 vampire stories or 5 whatevers. And please don't write a vampire story, but also Maggots in Love is taken right now. Do not touch that. But it's mine. But it has nothing to do with the quality of the work. It's just that a lot of times it's, too many submissions, not enough words, not enough pages because they all cost money. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
True.
Well, how about what do you guys have coming up?
So, we're starting to branch out. So we're still doing the flash fiction thing. Our next will be out, or our next edition will be out. We're hoping to release right before Necromonicon, so in August, and that will be the travel issue. And then we're not sure yet what will be the theme for Halloween, but we are branching out and doing a tribute to Gemma Files. So
Oh,
we're
no, I
doing,
saw that.
yeah, we're doing, it's based on her book, Experimental Film. We are calling it Experimental Files with her blessing. And she's actually going to do some illustrations in it, which is
Oh,
really,
that
really
is so
cool,
awesome.
right? Which is
Yeah.
beyond surreal, because when I had no idea she would agree to that. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
she said it just, oh, you want to do a few drawings? And she's like, yeah,
She's
like all cool
awesome.
about it. And I was like,
Yeah.
didn't even know what to say, because you read somebody, and if their book has a really deep effect on you, and then you finally meet that person, it can sometimes feel really weird, because you kind of just want to go, your book is so amazing, and then
Yeah,
makes them,
I've
you know what I
done
mean?
that.
Yeah.
I've done it. Sorry, Alma. I said sorry. I totally geeked out. Okay.
Well, it's hard, like if something affects you like emotionally like that, it's like a
Yeah.
song you've heard or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of emotional affecting, the neurotic dog just came in. He clawed his way in. If I've been kind of like me wondering what the scratching chaos is over to the side.
Hi, little dog. I love you, little dog. Don't be neurotic today. I wish we had Chihuahuas. The 2 neurotic dogs we have were supposed to be Chihuahuas, but now they're big. Like big Chihuahuas.
Amazing. It's amazing how people pawn off these big dogs as Chihuahuas sometimes.
Right? They just kept getting bigger and bigger, and my husband were like, they don't seem to look like Chihuahuas.
That's Chihuahua Grande. Big Chihuahua. Well, this has been so awesome to talk to you. I want to talk to you many, many more times. I feel like I've found my best lost kin friend, or however you would say that in a non-weird way, but definitely Maggots in Love is my story, guys. I'm doing that.
I'm dying to see it now. I've got to see this.
I'm totally writing this now. That is like an awesome idea. And those are my favorite things, where it's just like an off the cuff comment that,
right?
And then it's like, oh, that's sticking. Like, I don't want to say maggots are now stuck in my brain, but like that. But where can I find you? Where can the viewers find you and your work and Weird Fiction Quarterly? Like, where's all the best places?
Okay, so Weird Fiction Quarterly has a site. I'll give you the link for it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not big social media people. All of us are on Facebook. I know that's like old people social media. I tried TikTok. I can't deal with it. You what?
I said the Facebooks.
Yeah. But so I don't know if we're ever going to have more, and we're not on Twitter because of Elon Musk and, but come to Facebook and find us, or our site. Come to our site. And if you're interested in submitting, get a hold of me or somebody. I'll make sure to give you links so they can do that.
Oh yeah, the best place to find you is in those links down below this video. But
there we go.
Other than that, let's do what Sarah says. Well, and how about you? How about your work and everything, Sarah?
Yeah, I've got stuff coming out. I've got a really cool project that I'm doing with Frances Pay Ippolito. She's in Portland, along with, and I'm going to call her Buffy again, Elizabeth and JB. It's called Artborn Words. So Frances knows a guy in California who has been doing art for like 50 years. And he has all these incredible etchings, and just, he's a really cool guy. His art is, I love his art. Yeah. And so the idea was to show writers, the pictures he did, and then have us write stories off of them. And so I wrote I got Adam Bolivar involved and David Barker. They're doing it. Then Frances got some people involved. They're going to run a Kickstarter, I think, in September. Yeah. Yeah. But it's like the coolest project. You guys, this guy, he's like done all kinds of film design. Like he's an art director and Stephen
Graziani.
Yeah, Graziani. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
No, you got it. Yeah. You got it. And so I'm really excited to be part of that. And it feels a little bit like professional work, which is a little scary for me. Like, am I going to screw this up? Like I keep taking my my manuscript back and like, maybe I'll just change this one word. Then like, I gotta stop. I'm horrible. But yeah. So
we
there's
are
that.
our worst critics.
Yeah, totally. And then I'm working on a book that I initially was going to publish with Nictating Press. It wasn't ready, and Sean's an awesome guy, and but I basically decided to wait and rewrite it, and so I've been rewriting it. So that'll probably be like spring though, before it's
Awesome.
even going to go anywhere. And I don't even know that it will go anywhere, but I like it.
You know what? Going back to why do we create art?
Yeah, right.
Because we like it.
Right. And it's eco horror kind of. So
oh, nice. I've been getting so into eco horror lately because there's just so much real horror. Like I can't really write anything as bad as what's really going on. So let's turn to the planet.
Right. It's scary.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. And also I have 2 stories in Stories Born of Art. So when you're telling me about it, I was like,
no way.
Yeah. I
didn't
just
even know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's
last
so cool.
2 days ago, I guess. So yeah.
Oh, that is the coolest thing. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That is that makes talk about a small world. How weird.
I know.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
when you said that, it started clicking in my head. I don't know if my eyes,
like,
the light
wait a
bulbs
minute.
are going on. I was like, Sarah Walker. Yes, that was editing with Buffy. And
I didn't even know
holy
who else.
crap.
And we had to get rid of the new title is Artborn Words.
Oh, yeah.
I know. You heard
I have
about
a
that.
story about that. That was actually me.
Was that you?
Francis sent the picture of it, like the screenshot.
And
And
thank God you saw it. Though.
I have the humor of a 5th grader. I know this about myself. And so when I looked at it, I was like, Stories Born of Fart.
And Francis is like, wait, what? She sent it to us. As soon as she said, my friend said this, and we're like, oh my God, she's right. And then we're like, we got to get rid of it. We can't have this title. That's so funny.
When I sent it, I was like, but this is me. And you know my sense of humor. If there's anything that could be turned into the word fart, I'll find it.
Oh, me too. Like fart, bad words, anything bad.
Yeah.
It's always the first thing. I'm Beavis and Butthead, like it to a T. It's bad. So that was funny.
Hilarious. But
hilarious. How cool you're in it.
Yeah, we're both in it. Yeah, we're going to be POC mates. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I guess that's it, guys. That's all you get from Sarah Walker from Weird Fiction Quarterly. And I'm going to say goodbye and see you next week. And then Sarah and I might keep chatting if she wants to hang around. But yeah, otherwise, the rest of you get out of here. Get out of here. Go listen to somebody else.
All right. Or
go write something. Yeah, go write something. Go support Weird Fiction Quarterly. Go support your local small press or your non-local small press because we're on the same planet. It's all local now. And yeah, and I'll see you next time.
Nice meeting you guys.
Write your own path with opportunities.